Before diving into today's breaking story, let's start with something every Steelers fan can agree on. This team is putting in the work week after week. From Mike Tomlin's coaching staff to every player in the locker room, the message has been consistent. Mediocrity isn't acceptable in Pittsburgh. The black and gold are chasing greatness. They want to dominate, to compete, and to bring championship-caliber football back to the Steel City. If you're proud to see this group pushing harder every single day, you're not alone. Steelers Nation feels that same energy. Now, on to today's headline, which could dramatically alter the direction of the Steelers' offense. There's serious buzz out of Miami, and it could present a golden opportunity for general manager Omar Khan. According to NFL insider Tony Pauline, the Steelers have renewed interest in Miami Dolphins wide receiver Jaylen Waddle, one of the NFL's most dynamic young playmakers. The timing is what makes this especially intriguing. Longtime Dolphins GM Chris Grier has officially parted ways with the organization after 25 years. With Miami struggling at 2-7 and appearing to be on the verge of a massive reset, possibly even signaling the end of the Mike McDaniel era, major roster changes could be coming. And if that happens, nobody, not even a star like Waddle, is guaranteed to stay. That's where the Steelers come in. Pauline reports that Pittsburgh has both Jaylen Waddle and Tennessee's Calvin Ridley marked as potential trade targets, but Waddle is clearly the top priority. With Grier gone and a rebuild potentially looming in Miami, that once-closed trade door might be open just enough for Khan to make a bold move, something he's never been afraid to do. Pittsburgh is still in the market for another wide receiver, and Waddle could be the perfect fit. Let's face it, the Steelers' offense still feels one weapon short of being truly dangerous. DK Metcalf brings the power and physicality. Calvin Austin III adds speed and quickness. But the group lacks that elite, game-breaking presence that can tilt the field. That's exactly what Waddle offers. At just 26 years old, he's already logged 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons and is on pace for a fourth, with 586 yards and 4 touchdowns so far this year. Those numbers alone would make him the Steelers' most productive receiver. Imagine a lineup featuring Metcalf, Waddle, and Austin III, a combination of size, speed, and explosiveness that defenses would struggle to contain. It would bring back shades of the Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster era, with matchup nightmares across the board. And if Aaron Rodgers, or whoever lines up under center, continues to command the offense, Pittsburgh could finally have the dynamic unit it needs to compete with the AFC's best. Of course, a player like Waddle won't come cheap. Miami knows his value. He's young, productive, and still under contract. Realistically, the Steelers would need to offer a day 2 draft pick, perhaps a second or third rounder in the 2026 draft, just to start discussions. That might seem steep, but it's a reasonable price for a proven star who fits perfectly into Pittsburgh's offensive blueprint. The front office has shown it's willing to take calculated risks, and adding Waddle could be another aggressive move signaling that the Steelers are all in on building a contender right now. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. While trade speculation for Waddle heats up, another conversation is quietly emerging, one that could reshape the Steelers' long-term strategy. Some within league circles have started to wonder if it's time for Pittsburgh to consider trading TJ Watt. Now, before anyone rushes to judgment, it's not about doubting Watt's greatness. He's a franchise icon, a leader, and one of the most feared defenders in football, but he's also entering his 30s, and the Steelers find themselves stuck in a tough middle ground, good enough to compete, but not elite enough to win big. ESPN currently projects the team to finish around 9-8 again, leaving them outside the top quarterback draft range yet again. It's a difficult question, but one worth asking. Should the Steelers stay trapped in the middle, or make a bold move to break free? Trading Watt, painful as it would be, could give Pittsburgh the draft capital to move up and secure a true franchise quarterback, the kind of player who defines the next decade. It's the sort of decision that would sting emotionally and financially, especially considering Watt's massive 3-year, $123 million contract extension signed this offseason. But sometimes, to build for the future, teams must make hard choices in the present. While trade rumors dominate the headlines, the Steelers are also dealing with fresh injury challenges. The team officially placed safety DeShon Elliott and defensive tackle Daniel Ekuale on injured reserve Friday. Elliott, who has been battling a knee issue since Week 1, will miss at least 4 games. He's been a vital part of the defense with 38 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception, and a forced fumble in just 5 starts. Losing that leadership and intensity in the secondary is a major blow. As for Ekuale, his season came to a heartbreaking end after suffering a torn ACL in the loss to the Packers. He had become a dependable rotational piece on the defensive line, helping provide much-needed push inside. His absence will test the team's depth, particularly against the run. Yet even in the midst of adversity, there's a silver lining, and it starts with Aaron Rodgers. According to Steelers insider Mark Ekuale, Rodgers took charge of the locker room following the team's recent losses. Just 2 days after falling to Green Bay, he called a private players-only meeting with all the skill position guys. No coaches, no media, just players. His message was simple: no more self-pity, no excuses. He urged the team to stay focused, disciplined, and united. That's the type of leadership Pittsburgh desperately needs right now. Rodgers has seen it all in his long career: losing streaks, roster turnover, and tough playoff exits. His experience gives this team something invaluable: perspective and composure. The truth is, the Steelers' defense hasn't looked like its usual dominant self. They currently rank 30th in total defense, allowing nearly 386 yards per game. An unfamiliar place for a franchise built on toughness and defensive pride. Rodgers can't fix that side of the ball directly, but his command of the offense can help by controlling the clock and keeping the defense rested. Despite the struggles, there's reason for optimism. The Steelers still sit atop the AFC North thanks to a surprisingly uneven division this year. If Rodgers continues at his current pace, he could even rewrite the Steelers' record books. He's on track to break Ben Roethlisberger's single-season touchdown record of 34, which would be a remarkable achievement in his first season wearing black and gold. That kind of performance, paired with the team's resilience, could transform what's been a turbulent season into something special. Still, the next stretch of games will be crucial. With Elliott out for at least a month and Ekuale gone for the year, players like Trenton Thompson and Keanu Benton will need to rise to the challenge. This moment will define the Steelers' season. 4 tough weeks without key defenders, an offense looking for one more spark, and a leadership core determined to stay locked in. It's the type of adversity that has always brought out the best in Mike Tomlin's teams. Rodgers reminded everyone this week that the playoffs aren't decided in November. There's plenty of football left to play, and plenty of opportunity to prove that Pittsburgh still belongs among the AFC's elite. So, Steelers Nation, here's the big question. Should Omar Khan pull the trigger on Jaylen Waddle now that the opportunity may be there? Would you give up a day 2 pick for him? Or should the team think long-term and consider using Watt as leverage to trade up for a future franchise quarterback? This could be one of the most pivotal crossroads in recent Steelers history. On one side lies a win-now approach with Waddle and Metcalf leading a high-powered offense. On the other, a bold rebuild focused on securing the next great Steelers quarterback. Both paths carry risk, but both could change the franchise's future forever. Whichever direction the front office takes, one thing is certain: the Steelers are no longer a conservative organization afraid of big moves. Under Omar Khan's leadership, Pittsburgh is evolving, and the next few weeks could define the next decade of black and gold football. Go Steelers!